Krishna everyone. Welcome to BhagavatSanga program. This is our Srimad Bhagavatam program where we read prayers of pure devotees. The current theme is prayers of Nalakuvara. It's from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 10 from verses 29 to 38. Today we have a wonderful devotee, Kesavapani Prabhu, who will be sharing the verses and Prabhu's realizations. Hare Krishna Prabhu, over to you.
Namataji, Pranam Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayeta. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtakim Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shlakaya Chakshurunnitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupavat Kadamahyam Dadati Swapatankhitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamlam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parjana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavameshwar Shabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Mukum Karoti Vachalam Pungam Langayate Kurumiyat Kupatam Mahamande Shri Gurum Diyataram Paramananda Madhava Hare Krishna. So today we are talking about the prayers of Nalakuvara and Manigriva. Thank you for Satsara Prabhuji and Jai Subhadra Mataji for giving me this opportunity. So, a brief history. This incident takes place immediately after the Damodar Leela, where Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna. So, while Mother Yashoda was very busy with the household affairs, the Supreme Lord Krishna observed the twin trees. So in the former millennium, they had been the demigod sons of Kuvera, named Nalakuvara and Manigriva. So they both were great devotees of Lord Shiva, and because of material opulence, they became so extravagant and senseless that one day they were enjoying with the naked girls in a lake and shamelessly walking here and there. Suddenly, Narada Muni passed by, and they were so maddened by their wealth, pride, and false prestige that even though they saw Narada Muni present, they remained naked and they were not feel ashamed. So it is the nature of the material qualities that when one becomes very much opulent and pride in terms of wealth and prestige, prestigious position, one loses their sense of etiquette and doesn't care about anyone. Even a great sage like Narada Muni, they didn't care. So here the lesson is like who are especially the bewildered persons, who especially deride or disrespect the devotees. It's a major offense. It's offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. It is called Vaishnava Aparada. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu warned his devotees not to commit Vaishnava Aparada. It's one of the important lessons we should learn, that he described, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described it as a mad elephant offense. When a mad elephant enters a beautiful garden, it destroys everything. Similarly, a power of a Vaishnava Aparada is so great that even an advanced devotee becomes almost devoid of his spiritual assets if he commits Vaishnava Aparada. So bewildered persons, ahankara vimodatma, it's we should be very much careful about it. Even though Krishna consciousness is an eternal and continuous process which can be destroyed altogether if we are done a Vaishnava Aparada, it will hinder the progress of bhakti. Right? That is the reason like Vaishnava Aparada is one of the impediment to devotional service. So as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, the spirit soul bewildered by the influence of the false ego thinks himself the doer of activities. as I mentioned, ahankara vimudatma kattahamiti manyate. But in actuality, those offense, that activities is carried out by modes of material nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashah. So pride arises from identifying with the body, that thinking that I am the doer. So the Supreme Lord explains this, explain Arjuna how to be, how to overcome this pride. Is like explains in Arjuna about knowledge and object of knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita, he says that the first two qualities mentioned were humility and pridelessness. Amanetva madam vitvam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says in Sikshashtakam that Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna, meaning one should be more humble than a blade of grass. Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra sincerely with this mindset helps cleanses the heart and purifies from and cleanses it from pride and ego. So therefore, never offends a Vaishnava. That is the reason Narada Muni set an example by cursing Nalakuvara and Manigriva to become dull and unconscious like trees. But Krishna is always merciful to his devotees. Even though they were punished, they were fortunate enough to see the Supreme Lord face to face. Therefore, the punishment given by Vaishnavas is not actually a punishment, rather it is another kind of mercy. So by curse of the Narada, Nalakuvara and Manigriva became twin Arjuna trees in the courtyard of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaja, waiting for the opportunity to see Lord Krishna directly. So by their desire, Lord Krishna uprooted these two trees where Nalakuvara and Manigriva delivered by Krishna mercy after 100 years of the Devas. Their old consciousness revived and they offered Krishna prayers as follows. Krishna Krishna Mahayogim Stam Madhya Purushasparah Vyakta Vyaktamidam Vishwam Rupam Te Brahmana Viduhu. This verse says that Lord Krishna, your opulent mysticism is inconceivable. Why it is inconceivable? Because the two demigods, Nalakuvara and Manigriva, still have continuing memory from the past life, could understand the supremacy of the Krishna by the grace of sage Narada Muni. Now they admitted that being delivered by the blessings of Narada Muni in itself was part of Supreme Lord's plan. Okay, that is the reason they mentioned that Lord Krishna is supreme mystic. They continue to pray that you are the supreme original person, the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karana. Supreme cause means who has no more cause, no other cause, immediate or remote. So you are beyond this material creation. Narayana para avyaktad. So Narayana is beyond this material creation. So learned Brahmanas know on the basis of the Vedic statement, Sarvam Kalvamidam Brahma, so that you are everything and that this cosmic manifestation is your form. Vyakta, Avyakta, manifested and unmanifested. Moving on to the next verse. Tvameka sarvabhutanam deha atmendriyishwaraha tvameva kalo bhagavan Vishnur avyaya ishwaraha tvamahan prakriti sukshma raja sattvatamo tvameva purushodyakshaha sarvakshetra vikaravit. So they continue to pray that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of everything. So Supreme Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that he is the controller, that Maya Adhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam. This material world, material nature, producing all moving and non-moving beings, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. So and also they continue to pray that the body, life, ego, and senses of every living entity are your own self. You are the Supreme Person, Vishnu, the imperishable controller. You are the time factor and the immediate cause. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan says that Mamaivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manasashtani indriyani prakritistani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are all eternal fragmental parts. Due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which includes the mind. Right? So, Indriyanam manaschasmi, bhutanam asmi chetana. So, of all the senses, I am the mind, and in the living beings, I am the living force. Bhagavan confirms. So, also further uh, uh, analysis from Bhagavad Gita says that in Jivanam Sarvabhuteshu, I am the life of all that lives. Bijam Mam Sarvabhutanam, I am the original seed of all living entities. So they are also means like this is what we can incur, like Bhagavan is the supreme controller. He is the life and soul. So coming back to the verse, they also pray that your material nature consisting of three modes of material nature, Rajo, Tama, Guna. Supreme Lord says that Ye chaiva satvika bhavaha rajasas tamasas chaye. So know that all these three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, but they are within me. So they also pray, you are the original cause of this material manifestation. So you are the super soul, and therefore you know everything within the core of the heart of every living entity. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto. I am seated in everyone's heart. So they are praying in that way. So moving on to next verse. Grahyamaneistvamagrahyo vikaraih prakriteir gunaih konvinharhati vijñatum praksiddham guna samvrataha. Says, O Lord, you exist before the creation. Therefore, who, trapped by a body of material qualities in this material world, can understand you? Srila Prabhupada here beautifully explains in this verse that yes, we are trapped in this material body. Yes, we are in this material world. And yes, we are always under the mode of material nature. But how can we understand the Lord who is not from this material creation? And he is beyond and before this material creation. Is that the attitude of the devotee should be Sevon Mukho hi Jivadav. Krishna reveals himself to those who engaged in devotional service. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord himself confirms this. Bhaktyamam abhijananti. One can understand me as I am only by devotional service. The best course by which to know him is to engage oneself in pure devotional activities. The more one advances in devotional activities, the more one can understand him as he is. But here is the important point is we cannot understand Krishna from material platform. This is confirmed by Lord himself. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teyavastitaha. By me, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. So the Supreme Lord is not perceivable through the gross material senses. So moving on to next verse. Tasmai tubhyam bhagavate vasudevaya vedase atmadyota gunaischanna mahime brahmane namaha. So here says, O Lord, whose glories are covered by your own energy, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are Sankarshna, the origin of creation. You are Vasudeva, the origin of Chaturvyuha. Because you are everything and are therefore the Supreme Brahman, we simply offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Namaha. So because we are covered by the material modes of nature, he is very difficult for us to understand unless he reveals himself to us. Therefore, it is better for us to acknowledge that he is everything and offer our respectful obeisances unto him, onto his lotus feet. So how to offer and how we can come over the material nature is explained next verse. Moving on to the next verse. Yasya vatara jayante sarireshva asariranaha taistair atulyayati syair वीर्ये देह्येस् असङ्गतैः स भवान् सर्वलोकस्य भवाय विभवाय च आवर्तीर्णोऽस्मि भागेन साम्प्रतां पतिराशिषाम्. So, appearing in bodies like those of an ordinary fish, tortoise, and hog, you exhibit activities impossible for such creatures to perform. Extraordinary, incomparable, transcendental activities of unlimited power and strength. So, these bodies of yours, therefore, are not made of material elements, but are incarnations of your Supreme Personality. You are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who have now appeared with full potency for the benefit of all living entities within this material world. So, Bhagavad Gita, he says that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudhanam dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So, in this verse, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes that unfortunate, less intelligent persons devoid of devotional service cannot understand the Lord transcendental activities. Therefore, such person describe these activities as kalpana, myth, mythology, or imagination, because they are rascals and the lowest of men. Namam dushkritano mudaha prapadyante naradamaha. Such men cannot understand that the events described by Vyasadeva. So the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna appears as an incarnation when pure devotional practice declines and when rogues and thieves increases to disturb the situation of the world. So moving on to next verse. Namah Parama Kalyana, Namah Parama Mangala, Vasudevaya Shantaya, Yadunam Pataye Namaha. So important words here are Parama Kalyana, supremely auspicious, and Parama Mangala, supremely good, or Shantaya, peaceful. One more similar beautiful verse which reminds me here is the Kunti Mata prayers, which we all must practice and remember as part of our daily sadhana. Here, Kunti Mata prays Lord as follows. Namah Pankajanabhaya, Namah Pankajamaline, Namah Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangraye. So, Namaha is very important here. We offer our respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of the Lord. Coming back to our verse, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes here that Supreme Lord appears in this material world in order to protect the sadhus. Paritranaya sadhunam. The sadhu, saintly persons are always harassed by non-devotees, and Krishna appears in his various incarnations to give them relief. Important point here is we in the Grihastha Dharma should always protect and serve sadhus, always associate with them and learn. We are very fortunate that Satsara Prabhu and Jayasubhadra Mataji are providing unlimited opportunities to serve sadhus and elevated Vaishnavas. So moving on to the next verse. Anujani hinau bhumas tavanucharat kinkaro darshanam nau bhagavata risherasi danugrahat. Here kinkaro is very important. Kinkaro means servant. Our eternal constitutional position is to be servant at the lotus feet of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram in Shikshastakam. Here they say we are always servants of your servants. Nalakuvara and Manigriva says that. Always Kinkaro, especially of Narad Muni, because it is by his grace and mercy of Narad Muni that they were able to see the Lord face to face. So in Padyavali, verse compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami, he says, Gopi Bhartuhu Pada Kamalayor Pada Dasa Dasa Anudasaha. So that verse says that I am not Brahmana, I am not Kshatriya, I am not Vaishya or Sudra, nor I am a Brahmachari, household, Vanaprastha or Sannyasi. I identify myself only as the servant of the servant of the servant of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. That is our mood. That is how we should we should propagate, or that's how we should be. That is our constitutional position. Srila Prabhupada says that we are always being servant of someone. Someone has become the servant of humanity. Somebody has become the servant of the society, or somebody has become the servant of the country. In this age of Kali, we have become servant of our senses. Someone is a servant of his lust. Someone is a servant of his anger. Someone is a servant of his greediness. So instead of that, we must transform and become a servant of God, servant of the Supreme Lord. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, Kama Dinam Katina verse, he says, "Oh my Lord, there is no limit to the unlimited, unwanted orders of lusty desires. Although I have rendered these desires so much service, they have not shown any mercy to me. I have not been ashamed to serve them, nor have I ever desired to give them up. So, O Lord, O head of the Yadu dynasty, recently, however, my intelligence have been awakened, and now I am giving them up. Due to transcendental intelligence, I now refuse to obey the unwanted orders of these desires, and I now come to you to surrender myself at your lotus feet. Kindly engage me in your personal service and save me." Coming back to our verse, like that is our mood. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly mentioned it. So one cannot realize that Lord Krishna, one who cannot realize that Lord Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead unless delivered or blessed by the devotee. As mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kastridyatati Siddhaye. There are so many siddhas and yogis who cannot understand Krishna. Instead, they misunderstand him. But if one takes shelter of a devotee descending from the Guru Parampara system, one can understand who an incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead is. This is also confirmed by Narottama Dasa Thakur that Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Paye Chekeba. No one is delivered from the material conception of life unless favored by a Vaishnava. Others can never understand, neither by speculation nor by any other bodily or mental gymnastics. So, next, moving on to the next verse. Vani Gunanu Katani Shravanu Katayam Hastau Charanasu Manastava Padayornaha Smrityam Shirastava Nivasa Jagat Pranami Drishta Satam Darshanistu Bhagavattanutanam. Here gives all the verses are very important here. Henceforth, may all our words describe your pastimes. May our ears engage in oral reception of your glories. May our hands, legs, and other senses engage in actions pleasing to you, and may our mind always think of your lotus feet. So may our head offer our obeisances to everything within this world, because all things are also your different forms, and may our eyes see the forms of Vaishnavas who are non-different from you. So this verse explains how we must engage our senses in the service of the Lord instead of becoming servant to our senses. We cannot manufacture our own way of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not that everything one manufactures or concocts will lead to understanding God. Here, the process of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead is given. This process is called pure bhakti. This is called the bhakti actually. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. So Narada Panchamrita says, Hrishikena Hrishikesa Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. So everything, the mind, the body, and all the sense organs should be engaged in Krishna's service. This bhakti process is to be learned from expert devotees like Narada, Swayambhu, Manu, and Shambhu. Krishna says to Uddhava, Bhaktyaham ekaya grahyaha. Only by practicing unalloyed devotional service with full faith in me can one obtain me. I am naturally dear to my devotees who take me as the only goal of their loving service. In Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami also says that Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyana Avritam Anukulyena Krishnanusilanam Bhakturuttamam. So no other desire, no other desire. It should be devoid of desire other than the desire to please the Lord and remain engaged favorably in the service of the Lord. Finally, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, explaining about Maharaja Ambarisha, Shukadeva Goswami says, Savai Manah Krishna Padaravindayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanuvarnane Karo Harer Mandiramarjanadishu Shrutim Chakarachuta Satta Katayodaye Mukundalingalaya Darshani Drushau Tadbritya Gatra Sparshengra Sangamam Grahmam Chay Tatpada Saroja Saurabhe Srimat Tulasya Rasananam Tat Arpite Pado Hare Kshetra Padanusparshani Shiro Krishikesha Pada Bivandani Kamam Chadasye Natu Kama Kamyaya Yato Tamashloka Janashrayaratihi. So, in Maharaja Ambarisha says, always engaged in his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavana. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged in sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulasi offered to the Lord. And he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasadam. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, a Maharaja Ambarisha never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. That is the ultimate bhakti. That is how we should all practice bhakti. Thank you all for your time. And please forgive me if I have misspoken anything due to my ignorance. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Vaishnavas and Guru. My Dandavat Pranam to Sri Sri Nitai Gauranga and Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
Prabhu. That was such a wonderful class, Prabhu. You quoted so many verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, prayers of Bhagavatam. Very nice, Prabhu. I'll just quickly share a few points. So, in the beginning, you said we should be very careful of Vaishnava Aprad. It will hinder our progress in bhakti. So, that is very important. We have to be very careful. So, you said many wonderful points, Prabhu. A few points like Krishna will reveal himself to the one who serves him sincerely, who is in pure devotion. So, we should be very focused in serving Krishna. And like the way you said, Maharaj Amrish, how he used to do. We should also we have so many opportunities. You're right. Satyasara Prabhu and Jasudra Mataji have given us so many opportunities to serve gurus, sadhus. We have to take that opportunity. Like even this Bhagavad Sangha, right? We have this opportunity to read prayers, which we otherwise wouldn't have read by ourselves. So, yes, Prabhu. So we have so much opportunities to chant, to glorify the Supreme Lord, and we should definitely make use of it. And also, you said about how we have to protect the and serve the sadhus. You're right. Like last 2 weeks, we have been getting so much of association. So yes, Prabhu, definitely. Thank you, Prabhu. That was such a wonderful class. Very nice. Leo could presented it. Devotees, thank you all for joining. Quick announcement. We are concluding these prayers next week. It'll be at the last class. And after that, we are starting prayers of Satyavrata. It is from Canto 8, Chapter 24, verse 46 to 53. Prashant Prabhu will send the details. Request all of you all to please sign up. It is a great opportunity for us to read these prayers and share our realizations. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.